We are back in our series for future focus schools and instruction for all children. We're back with our main man. We're in Ohio. Adam, how far are you from the Cincinnati area, man?
Well, I teach 30 minutes outside of downtown Cincinnati. It's
Okay.
where I grew up. I went to school there, but I live in Madisonville, and I probably live 10 to 15 minutes from downtown Cincinnati.
Okay.
So,
So,
yeah,
folks, we're
yeah,
in Cincinnati, right? We're 10 to
yep.
15 minutes from downtown Cincinnati with Adam Moeller, man. Adam is doing amazing work in the Cincinnati area. Teacher of the Year in, what was that, Region 5, Adam?
In District 5, yes.
In District
Yep,
5. That was that. I
yes.
remember that in District 5, doing some amazing work around artificial intelligence. In our series, we're really talking about, we're going and talking to educators all across the country. Today, we're going to be in Ohio. We're going to be in California. Tomorrow or next week, we're going to be in Michigan. We're going to be in Florida, really talking to individuals about we're even going to be in Oregon, right? Talking to individuals about future focus instruction. One thing about artificial intelligence is the misconception, right? I mean, a lot of us have kind of grown up looking at movies like Terminator and Independence Day and all these things, right? But we're really going to talk about the misconceptions of artificial intelligence and then how you can really kind of begin to use it in a way that it really benefits you in the classroom and benefits you at the campus. Adam, can you talk about, as you begin to really get into it, we know that you've done many podcasts. We know that you've been out on the road facilitating sessions all across the country, man. What? How did you get past that misconception? And how did you begin to have AI work for you instead of you do a lot of work and not get the actual information that you needed from it?
So I'll say this, for me personally, I love technology, and I never really had any misconceptions about AI. I
Honestly,
first learned about it from Jake Carr, back in December of 2022. I saw a TikTok video he made, and he was talking about this controversial AI app called ChatGPT. I'm like, well, what is this? What's this cool thing?
right.
And I went to check it out, and I saw what it could do, and I went, that's really cool. And the way my mind works is when when I see something like that, I think, how can I use this to my advantage? I never really had any misconceptions enter my mind. It never really worried me about students from the get go.
Mm-hmm.
And I but I'll say this: what I have found are people a lot of people have misconceptions about it. They think AI is going to take over and replace
Right.
teachers, and they also think that students are just going to run rampant with it and use it to do everything.
Right.
Whereas, like I share in my sessions, just because AI could replace teachers does not mean that it should.
Right.
And there's still a need for teachers in this world, still a need for students to create and write. And what really kind of drove all this home for me is when I was watching some of the future focused training videos from SPN was I forget who said it, but they said that we should be teaching the things that AI cannot teach,
Right.
such as empathy and creativity and critically thinking, collaborating, and things of that nature. And I thought to myself, well, I already base my class around all those things. I
Right.
teach eighth grade social studies, and so many of the lessons that I do focus on students already creating and collaborating with each other. There's
Mm.
always, whenever you walk by my class, students are always partnered up and talking about content and talking about, the process of what we are doing. And yeah, so I come from a place of no misconceptions, but I understand the
Mm.
misconceptions that teachers can have about AI. However, we have this tool in front of us,
Right.
and it's not going to take over the world. It's not
Right.
going to replace teachers. There is always going to be a need for teachers, but we need to focus on how we can shift our teaching to help students collaborate
I
and
love it.
show empathy and things of that nature.
I love it. Hey man, let's dig deeper. I mean, because okay, we got the misconception piece out there, and
Hmm.
some people they handle that different ways. But
Yeah.
talk about your initial challenges, right? I mean, like,
Hmm.
let's be honest with you, Adam. There's a lot of folks that are just like, "Hey, that's good, Adam, but man,
Hmm.
I'm 53 years old, man. I'm not real good with this technology stuff." How did you get connected to AI? How did you begin to get through those initial challenges for you to say, "Hey, I want to do this. This is something that I really want to dig deep in because I know it's going to benefit my children, my students."
Well, anyone that has this fear that they can't navigate technology, or they have a fear of there's a quote that really drives my thinking and drives my teaching. It's from a teacher on, I guess it's X now. I can't call it X. I call it Twitter.
Right, right,
But
right.
there's a teacher on there called his name's Monty Siri, and he has a quote that really resonated with me. It's called "Do, Reflect, and Do Better." And I'd say if you're someone that thinks I can't do technology, I can't navigate technology, then I will throw that quote out to you. Do, reflect, and then do
Mhm.
better.
I
Because
like
that's
that.
what education is essentially for anybody, any teacher, any
Mhm.
student, really. But it's just a matter of just go to ChatGPT and type something in. Start small, and and then and that's essentially what I did. I started small, and then I began to think like, what can I use this for? And I thought, can this make Mad Libs for my students? What type of educational experience can I create for my students using AI? But you have to start somewhere. You got to start small and come from a place of curiosity rather than being judgmental about it.
Definitely. Man, I
Yeah.
like that. I like that because, as we go across the country working with teachers, man, and we start with just that,
Mhm.
we're like, okay, what do you really want? What are you working on? And what do you really want Chat GPT, Claude, or whatever app, a bar to really actually create for you,
Yeah.
right? And I
Yeah.
remember, man, we were sitting down with a assistant principal, man. Anyone who knows secondary students in secondary schools, man, you're going to take a long time to really begin to build a master schedule. It takes you
Hmm.
months to do that, right?
Yep.
So we were just like, okay, we want to help you take 6 months down to a couple of weeks to build your master schedule, man. And we
Hmm.
really started small with her, began to work her through the eight I processes. We started with Chat GPT, moved over to Claude because we were able to put in those PDFs that were needed, right?
Hmm.
And it was something to see the level of just comfort once you really knew
Hmm.
that Claude was going to help her create a master schedule for her high school, right?
Yeah.
Think about taking a 6-month project, and you guys know if you have been deans, assistant principals at secondary schools, think about taking this huge project that takes you months and bring it down to weeks.
Can I
Just
play off of that real
sure, sure,
quick?
sure, sure. Go
I'm
ahead.
so sorry. Like over the weekend in Long Island, or just a couple days ago in Long Island, not the weekend. I don't know what I'm thinking. Um, there was a teacher that was there in my session. She's a librarian who has to weed out books that haven't been checked out, and and they have to have a copyright date of like, or they have to be older than like 8+ years or something. And she
Right.
does this by hand. And she said it takes hours of work. And she wanted to know if Claude could sift through a spreadsheet of book titles that haven't been checked out in a certain amount of time and have a copyright. She said to me, if Claude can do this, or ChatGPT, this would save her hours of time, and she really hoped that it would. And I sat down with her. We worked on a prompt. We got it taken care of. And and just like you were describing, like the whole weight of the world was lifted off of her shoulders. It
Yeah, man.
found
Yes.
every flipping book that was that had a copyright of 2015 and under that has not been checked out in a certain amount of time, and it
Right.
created a spreadsheet for her.
Right, man. I know she left that that PT man
Yep.
doing the Wizard of the Oz dance, right?
Yeah.
She was
Yeah.
walking down
Yeah.
the I mean,
Yeah.
you think about how something can take hours of your time and bring it down to minutes, right?
Yep.
And that's the whole thing about AI. It will not replace the work, but it
Hmm.
will give you opportunities to reduce that work. So now you can focus on those things like application, engaging, and synthesis. And that's where the future focus process starts. A lot of the times we focus so much on the content and the knowledge piece that we don't have time to push to those application pieces and those future focus pieces. So, hey, Adam, thank you, man, so much, folks. If you want to hear more of our sessions with Adam, please go ahead and click on the link below. We want to make sure that we give you the entire series that we have to really share those future focus opportunities that you can do in your classroom using AI. Brother, thanks, Adam. And man,
Thank you.
hey, like I said, we're in Cincinnati, in California today. Come see us next week, y'all. We're gonna be in Michigan. I think we're going down to Florida as well. All right. You have a great rest of your day. Thanks.